like walking out. But anyhow, a lot is like, I would like to share with you some of the practices which are being adopted by some of the progressive companies. I'm not saying multinational, I'm not saying local companies, but progressive companies. First of all, I start with a small like wake-up test. I'll take the, I'll tell you the lines of two very famous songs. Anyone would help who sang those? Money can't buy love. Anyone? Money can't buy love. Sorry? Yes. Money, money, money. If I had a little money. The Carpenters. Right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Ever. Yes. Okay, this is the basic mistake when most of us do. Compensation has two parts, and we always concentrate about the money part. And that money part is not even a full part. Compensation is part when we talk about intrinsic compensation and extrinsic compensation. Extrinsic compensation is financial and non-financial rewards. And non-financial reward come to when you talk about recognition and etc. But the real test is there about intrinsic compensation. Intrinsic compensation, now, extrinsic compensation is part of the compensation specialist, while intrinsic compensation is taken care by the OD professionals who are organization development professionals. You may have heard the famous tagline that people don't leave their job, they leave their bosses. I have shared this story with a lot of you. My daughter, she used to be 4 years at that time, now she's 6.5. One day I came from an overseas trip. I had brought some goodies for everyone. I have 3 daughters, alhamdulillah. And my daughter, she was not really happy, and I blasted off, and I was real angry that I have come all the way from the flight, and what's this? Why, you know? And on the dinner table, I asked my eldest one, that where is Zara? And she said, she's at the gate, and she's sort of angry. I told her, go and call her. She went and she said, she's not coming. I sent her second time, and I told her that ask her why she's not coming. And guess what answer she had? And I thought about it and thought about it. She said, मैंने इस घर में नहीं रहना, इस घर में मेरी इज्जत नहीं है. Right? And honestly, it changed all my philosophies about HR. Money can't buy love. Right? हमारा ज़्यादातर focus, all the time we are focusing on extrinsic compensation, and we think that we are doing our job, while it's all a conspiracy of the rich. Please go back and read the book and buy. Try not to buy a pirated version. Thank God it's not there in the market, pirated. But see, people don't leave their jobs. They leave their bosses. It's the respect, and it's the culture. It's the value system which they work for. And after a certain level, they are there because they like the place. They like the way they are treated. And so many times, we compensation specialists forget about this thing. Forget about this thing. I will be less concentrating on my slides, and I will be more talking to you interactively. And please, let me tell you, I love to be interrupted. If you have something in between, I can take questions, because, right? You may have heard about a person, because too many times we think or we measure things in terms of monetary terms, while they are not. There was a very, what you call a sage or a, buzurg the, and he wanted to go across the river. He wanted to go across the river. He told, the owner of the boat that, can you take me away? I'm a very scholar and this and that. He said, you may be a scholar, but sorry, it will take 50 paisas to go across. He said, sorry, I'm a scholar, I'm this. He said, oh, now that person did not have that much money. Now what he did, he took his piece of cloth and he spread it on the river, he sat on it, and went across the river. In the meantime, that boatman also came, and that man looked at that boatman very proudly, and he said, look, you didn't want me to get into your boat, and what I have done. The answer, again, the boatman gave, moved on many things. He said, सारी उम्र मेहनत करके 8 आने का इल्म कमाया. Problem ये होती है कि we measure things too many in monetary terms. We forget about the mental furnishing of the people. And I'm very glad that some speakers talked in the morning about the employer branding. People are working for what kind of branding they are getting and what kind of employability they are getting while they are working for that organization. And we have to be very mindful about this, because race is not to the swiftest and game is not to the wisest. It's not the money. And please, when we talk about compensation, next time think that it's only that 25% is financial, 25% is non-financial, and 50% is intrinsic, which is the OD part. And yes, we must concentrate on compensation, but not the kind of compensation we are taught, the long-term incentive, short-term incentive, base salary, and this thing, and how to do your tax planning and stuff like this. Anyone, what does it look like? It's a picture from China, where like people are protesting against the job losses. And they say that it is no more the same China. Those of you who have have had a chance to see today's Newsweek, the cover is that China doesn't have a single brand. Can you recall a single brand? They were the factory of the world, and they thought. And when world slowed down, there were a lot of layoffs in China, and which has caused a kind of a, so their strategy was that you have to bring peasants to the factory and provide them the job. Now, when there is a kind of recession, this is the kind of confrontation back home in these factories of the world in the Far East people are facing, right? This is one side I'll share with you, and then I'll take you to the other thing. What has set it off? Oil prices, recession, stock market, mortgage, credit, slow growth, food prices, depression, financial services company failures. But when I look at this long list, none of them seem domestic to me. So if I will suggest you some kind of an antibiotic or a medicine based upon the symptoms which are there out, I think it will not be right. Our issues are a little bit different. And when I say that we have to concentrate our issues, we have to really understand first before prescribing any kind of medicine. Our issues are really of the productivity, one thing. And I would again say that it's the conspiracy of the rich to tell them that it's a financial crunch, and nobody can demand wage cuts in this job, and we should resist. We should, as HR professionals, we should resist this thing, wage cuts, job cuts, and stuff. I am yet to see, and please tell me if there is any single FMCG company, Pakistan mein, there are more than 2 million outlets, मैं कहता हूँ ये जो shops हैं जी, ठीक है, इसमें modern भी आ जाती हैं, हॉरिका भी हैं, जिनकी 100% coverage हो, और वहाँ पे 100% coverage नहीं है तो salesman की job तो ख़त्म नहीं हो सकती है, ठीक है? Now it is the inefficiency of some of us own which they quoted and they try to save their coffers. I would say that none of these things which are today's business environment, this is not our business environment. Our challenges are how to enhance our productivity, how to enhance our law and order situation, security situation, or how to beat the corruption. These are some of our issues, how to stay legal.